Okay. So I call the meeting of the Police Oversight Commission to order. Let's stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Secretary, call the roll.
Yes, Chair Lewis,
Here.
Vice Chair Sykes,
Here.
Commissioner Qualls, Commissioner Hybels,
Present.
Commissioner Roy,
Present.
Commissioner Yun,
Present.
and alternate Jones is absent.
Okay, so moving on to the consent calendar. Yeah, and approval of the minutes for from the July 9th meeting.
Through the chair, we do have a member of the public that would like to speak on the consent calendar.
Great.
Dr. Scheusel?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just be very brief. I'd like to know why this is considered a special meeting, because if you look at the agenda, it's just like every other meeting, except this was not on a normal date. And from my standpoint and the public standpoint, I think people look at these special meetings as a way for staff to silence the public by using, quote, a special meeting that's community forum will not be allowed. And I would say again, I'd like someone to show me how this.
Thank you. So moving on to approval of the minutes from the July 9th meeting and the agenda for the special meeting.
Can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
I second it.
Chair Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Qualls, Commissioner Hybels,
Yes.
Commissioner Roy,
Yes.
Commissioner Yun.
Yes.
Motion carries by all members present.
Okay. Does anybody have anything they want to report?
I wanted to take a moment just to give a couple of updates from some ad hoc committees that are not on the agenda tonight. Firstly, from the ad hoc committee looking for an assigned attorney for this commission, we have met with a few of the qualified candidates who responded to the RFQ, and we've had a number of meetings to discuss retaining a candidate. We will be talking to city staff before the next meeting to give a recommendation on that front, and we look forward to having more to discuss at the next regular meeting next month. We're really engaged in that work and have had, I believe, 3 interviews scheduled and have had a number of meetings over the past few months to continue to try to find the right candidate to be the assigned attorney on this commission. So thank you to the public and thank you to the other members of the commission for your patience and for working with us as we try to find the right person to assist us with that role. So that's the update from that ad hoc committee. And then subsequently, just wanted to give a quick update on the ad hoc committee regarding the complaints policy that obviously we previously as a board made or as a commission made a recommendation to approve the police department's complaint policy, but we're trying to supplement that with our own complaint process to address the concerns of the members of the community that community members might not be wanting to go and submit complaints directly with the police department. So to that end, we're drafting our own complaint form so that members of the community can work with the POAC in order to file their complaint with the VPD. We're going to put in tandem with that complaint form on our website once it's ready, an FAQ so that members of the public can understand a bit more about the process if they're not so inclined to work directly with the police department, and so that we can help to inform them how that process will go if they choose to file a complaint. So we have a draft of that form ready to go, and we hope to have it on the agenda for the regular meeting in September as well. And we hope that with that form and the FAQ together as a committee, we can bring those items forward to the public and increase visibility and transparency in filing a complaint. So those are those 2 updates from those 2 ad hoc committees. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair. Thank you, Commissioner Roy. The POAC has been busy over the past few months. I'm giving an update on the ad hoc committee that was formed for the bylaws. We have done a preliminary draft of the bylaws that are in adherence to the ordinance. So it has been preliminarily reviewed, and so far the individuals on those committees are fine with what we have listed so far. Hopefully these bylaws that we are working on will be ready for review in October. But we have been doing the work, and so we just want to keep everyone informed and updated about what this POAC has been doing over the past few weeks. Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, report of the secretary.
Thank you, Chair Lewis. So just one quick mention that City Council has directed now, I believe they mentioned it at the last 2 council meetings, of wanting to get the POAC members as well as the Surveillance Advisory Board, the SAB, together for a joint meeting. We were looking at dates, hoping potentially to have it at the SAB's regular meeting on the 17th, but I have yet to talk to the chair and vice chair of that committee to see whether or not their agenda would allow for a joint meeting. So I'll work with chair, vice chair, and the attorneys to kind of figure out what date works best. If not the 17th, then potentially we can do maybe another date in September. We might have to push it out to October, but I'll send out some save the date possibilities for you guys to consider, and then we'll get that calendared as soon as possible.
Secretary Nalongo, I have a question as to that joint meeting. I don't know if everyone on the commission understands or knows what FLOC is. And so will there be some pre-informational kind of help and guide us outside of what the special meeting agenda would be, just so that we know what we're appearing for?
So there'll be additional information sent out about FLOC, sort of some of the presentations we can share that the SAB has actually received, you know, documentation, presentations that the FLOC representatives have provided to the Surveillance Advisory Board, some of the other sort of documentation that they themselves have created as they sort of walk through the process of talking about flock, talking about, you know, some of the challenges with the contracts, scope, you know, they've been talking about the flock camera system for a while. So they have quite a bit of information. We can ask that they share all of that information with you commissioners so that you can have that in advance of the joint meeting, and then that way, you know, you'll be, you know, somewhat prepared to kind of sit and have that conversation. It's going to take a little bit of massaging in terms of not just having the conversation, but really what POAC's scope is with regards to the flock system, because it's different than the Surveillance Advisory Board. So just making sure that you both are really clear about what your authorities are so that when you have conversations, it's not getting convoluted, and that way you can provide clarity both to the community as well as yourselves in terms of what the responsibilities are. You're welcome.
Okay, attorney's report.
I have nothing to report this evening, Chair and Commission. I will request that you go back to number 6, though, because you haven't called that one yet. I don't think the liaison's here, but we haven't. We didn't call that one.
All right. Report of the city council liaison. Okay.
Through the chair, the city council liaison is currently not present.
Thank you. So moving on to the action calendar. Staff, would you introduce the items?
Sure. So the first item A on the action calendar is adopt a resolution recommending to the city manager approval of membership in the National Association for Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement, NACOL, and attendance at their annual conference by the members of the POAC Commission. So let me see, let me pull this up. So excuse me, as part of the police chief's recommendation or recommended training, part of that was attendance to the annual NACOL conference in the fall. So part of that is receiving the approval of the city manager. We looked into it, and you know the cost is much better if we're actually members. So it's a recommendation to actually join as a city government, not as individuals, and then that way everyone gets the benefit. And then talk about, you know, which members, some or all, would like to attend this annual conference. You know, I guess you all can attend. I mean, it's budgeted for that, but it does sort of eat into your training budget, or you can stagger it, where some of you go this time, some of you go next year. I would say if a quorum of you goes, there are strict guidelines about sort of not discussing topics that fall under your purview while you're there. But other than that, that's all I have on this item. If you have any questions, you're free to ask them.
What was it cost per head to attend that conference?
I think it worked out to, with the membership discount, I think it was somewhere around $3 to $4 grand, but I don't know that didn't include some of the hotel costs.
It does or does not?
Does not. Sorry.
Doesn't include the transportation either, I'm sure.
Correct.
Okay. So
No. I'm sorry. The total cost for all 7 of you. Sorry. Oh. Yes. All 6. Yes. I think I added it up for all 7 of you because that was sort of the original number. But yes. Sorry. Total cost. It's about $600 with everything. And I actually think that they have an early bird special for hotels, so it's fairly cheap. I think the cost is I think it's 2 or 3 days. Right. So about $700-800.
I don't know if I can ask this, but it's kind of in general for any training as in that course. Who do we reach out to kind of coordinate what we want to do or attend? Will that be with you or?
Yeah, so that would be
That-
with me, and I would actually ask for help on that coordination. But essentially, you would need city manager approval because he's the one who could authorize travel, and that just goes for sort of any city staff. But as a commission, you would ask for approval, and then we would be the ones to register you.
And then would that include for any of the other training that we also need to do?
So the other recommended training, I believe most of that is going to run through the police department.
Okay.
And so you would reach out
To Remrock?
probably to Remrock to help facilitate that.
Okay, thank you.
So the membership, to join as a membership organization, what is it? What's the annual cost?
I believe I read it was 750.
Okay, so do we need a motion to, so I make a motion that we adopt the resolution recommending the city manager approval of the membership in the National Association for the Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement and attendance at their annual conference by POAC members.
Through the chair, we do have 2 members of the public that would like to speak on this item.
Okay?
Could I just clarify that motion? Do we also need to choose who attends with this as well, or will that not have to be a part of the case?
That's actually not part of the resolution,
Okay.
so that'll have to be determined later.
Yeah, do that later. Okay.
I'll second the motion if it's appropriate right now.
You should hear the speakers first before
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
First speaker, Dr. Scheusel.
Oh, B.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, so we have one speaker, Carol Heap. Please unmute yourself. You have the floor.
Good evening. I'm calling about the NACO conference. I'd just like to say that I've been a member of NACO in the past. I've attended their conferences in the past. And I think it's this is all new for our city. And I think you all need to attend. And I think you all need to attend as soon as possible. And I would suggest that all 6, 7 of you go to this one this year and just deal with the issues of non-communication. Make a decision how you're going to deal with that before you go. But we need to become members as a city. And some of you have a lot more experience from watching you up there. Some of you have a lot of experience with police and interactions with the police, and some of you seem to have very little. So I think you all need to go. This is the most nationally recognized group. They've been around for, when did I go? I went back last century. So they've been around for at least 30, 40 years. And you need to really take advantage of this. This is it is the organization to join if you have a choice of organizations. This would be number 1 on the list. So, yeah. And if you decide not to send all of you, then I suggest the people with the least experience with working with police departments would be the priority to attend the conference. Very good use of resources, very good use of your time, and thank you.
Thank you. And I agree. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second the motion.
Okay. Chair Lewis? Chair
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Chair Sykes?
Yes.
Commissioner Qualls? Commissioner Hybels?
Yes.
Commissioner Roy?
Yes.
Commissioner Yun?
Yes.
Motion carries by all members present.
So item B is adopt a resolution of the Police Oversight and Accountability Commission recommending that the city manager consider entering into a professional services agreement with effective law enforcement for the independent police auditor services.
Through the chair, we need to go back to item A, because I believe, if I read correctly, the deadline to get in to this conference is August 12th, which is next week, if we want to get the lower rate. So
Right.
based on the recommendation by Commissioner Yoon, we need to look at who should attend.
So just a suggestion for you, and for you, Secretary Connolly, I think that you should leave it up to each individual commissioner this time, and we can reach out to you by email to see if you want to go and do it that way. And before the conference, we can put something on the agenda and have a short discussion about how you can interact at the conference without violating the Brown Act.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so somebody make a motion?
No, we don't need a motion on that. We'll just do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I will send out an email to each of you that you can reply to, letting me know whether or not that's something that you can attend. And then we'll get that squared away in terms of registration, and then we'll put it on the agenda for discussion. September meeting is a little tight, so maybe we might have to if we have the special meeting. The conference is in November, so we have some time that we can talk. Yeah, we can talk about it. So what were we on? Item 9B. Thank you. So this is adopt a resolution to recommend to the city manager to consider entering into a professional service agreement with effective law enforcement for all for independent police auditor services. So the commission established an ad hoc subcommittee to review the proposals that came through for the RFP for the independent police auditor. There were 4 proposals submitted. After review, the ad hoc subcommittee decided to forward 2 for consideration to have an interview. Those interviews were conducted, and from there, there was one proposer that the committee ranked higher than the other, but they had some additional questions, so we reached out for some clarification, received some answers back, and with that, the subcommittee made a recommendation that the city manager consider entering into a professional service agreement with effective law enforcement for all. Their entire proposal was included in this packet for your review. And so with that, that concludes the report, but if you have any questions, you're free to ask them.
Through the chair, we do have a member of the public that would like to speak on this item as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question and then some comments. First of all, how many letters were sent out? You got 4 back, but how many were actually sent out? Secondly, I would suspect that the information is available somewhere, but staff has been very circumspect about who the independent lawyer and investigator report to, and I think that's critical for everyone to know. I would hope one of the POAC members tonight has the courage to ask staff who these individuals report to. and I think it's a disgrace if we don't learn that information. Despite what the city attorney's offices say, they have an inherent conflict of interest supervising these individuals as the city's attorney's clients include police officers. So you can't have an independent person supervised by someone whose lawyer might go after you. What occurs is that the contracts that are offered should specifically state that the independent lawyer and auditor are supervised and report directly to POAC. They should not report to the city attorney or anyone else. They should be reporting to POAC, and you should try to insist that be part of the contract. The public needs to have reassurance that the advice and counsel that POAC receives from the independent investigator and lawyer provide to POAC is truly independent. And I think that word independent is critical. You want someone who reports to you who's on your side, not having to figure out whether the city is going to put pressure on them or not. Remember that the city attorney's first priority is to protect the city, not its citizens. And I think that's the way it is in every city. That's what the city attorney is supposed to do, is protect the city. The citizens come second or third, depending on what the issue is. Thank you.
Thank you. So do we have a motion here? Do you have any comments from the commissioners? Speak up.
So just checking to see if any of the other commissioners have any comments about this proposed organization, the organization we're proposing.
Do we kind of want to lay out do we want to lay out how we came to this conclusion as a subcommittee? Would that provide some input, insight? So, okay. So the subcommittee has met several times in regards to the interview process. We sat down with the city manager and the city attorney's office, reviewed all proposals that were submitted, and as Secretary Conley had mentioned, we determined there were 2 strong candidates. We then proceeded to interview with both of them, and please correct me if my memory is not correct. And both candidates were very strong. They were very thoroughly vetted. We sat and asked a lot of comprehensive questions. We led the interviews with the individuals, so we came up with the questions to ask. Council Liaison Ledigi was also in attendance. And so this process has been very open and transparent, and we've had a lot of control over the vetting process. And so I believe after we came to a recommendation based on a ranked system, we had follow-up questions that came up that were clarified. Both proposers were very forthcoming. Staff was very helpful in making sure that communication was brought across. And I'm trying to emphasize the amount of work and effort that the commissioners individually have done to vet this process. And I feel very confident, especially in my decision with the recommendation that we brought to this commission. And we've spoken probably quite a number of times as a subcommittee to discuss and go over this with the spirit and mindset and purpose that we are truly trying to leave a legacy behind that stands up for the community and is a good reflection of the city's partnership. And I'm very confident with the decision that was made today. So I don't know if I've left out any other items.
And through the chair, and to echo what Commissioner Yoon is saying, when we made our selection, we got some comments back. The minute we got the comments back, we immediately met as a committee, discussed it, came up with additional questions. The responses we got, or that we received, we were satisfied with the comments. We stayed firm with the organization we selected. Then we got additional comments about that particular organization. We asked additional questions, and we're still committed to the organization we selected after, as she said, as we thoroughly vetted it. So this was, and we also took copious notes and asked additional questions when we met with both organizations. So this was not a cakewalk. This was some really serious discussion among the ad hoc committee members, and we reflected on what we saw, what we observed, and what we heard. So we feel good about this organization, and we hope that they will do their best, which it seems like they will do, to honor and hear the residents of Vallejo.
Well, I have complete confidence in the committee's choice, and I would make a motion that we pass that resolution to the, recommending that outfit to the city manager.
Chair, before you act on that motion, can I add just a bit of information here for the commission and for the public's information? So in putting this together and starting to work up a contract, one of the things that we do in the city attorney's office with every single entity is make sure they're authorized to do business in the state of California. So we discovered that effective law enforcement for all is not at the moment eligible to do business in California. We don't think that it's a big deal, and they've committed to doing what they need to do to register with the appropriate agencies in order to be recognized as a legitimate business in California. Just in case they decide for whatever reason not to do that, or they take an inordinate amount of time, this resolution has some wording in it that allows the city manager to go with your second choice in the event that effective law enforcement's unable or unwilling to register with the state like they're supposed to do. I just wanted to point that out just so that it's clear to everybody.
I guess the question that I have is, in the event, which I think we're all confident that Alifo will do what they need to one, earn our business and to complete the process. But if for some reason that does not happen and the city manager determines that they need to go with the second best, I think I would like to have a conversation as a subcommittee before that decision is made. And I don't know if that needs to be addressed in the resolution here, but we are the subcommittee feels very strongly about the first candidate. And we'd like to make sure that before that decision is made final, that the subcommittee is made aware and have that discussion, if possible.
Absolutely. I can make note of that and inform the committee if for some reason Alifa chooses or is unable to actually fulfill their responsibilities in that manner. And obviously before the city manager, reaches out to the other proposer.
Yeah, just so you're clear, I don't expect there to be a problem. The registration is literally filling out a form, all right, and sending money, of course. The state always wants their money. So it's filling out a form for the Secretary of State, and because they're a nonprofit, there's a second entity they have to register with called the Registry of Charitable Trusts, which is part of the Department of Justice. Again, it's a form and a fee. And they indicated to us, if I remember correctly, that they are more than willing to do that, and that they would once they got a contract.
And the process doesn't take a long time, so a couple of weeks.
So I'm a praying person. So I'm praying that this goes through. I think the concern that Commissioner Yoon has, and I have as well, were the last sentence in the action item, the documentation that says the POAC has determined that Integra Assure LLC also meets the requirements to serve as an IPA. So I think that's the concern, is that we're basically saying we'll go with them, and I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, so meets the requirements means they meet the minimum requirement set forth in the ordinance. Doesn't mean you like them better than the other one. It's just That's your, basically a second choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate the clarification.
Sure.
Thank you.
And we do have one more public speaker for this item.
Okay.
Through the chair, Carol Heap, please unmute yourself. You have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Commissioner, and I can't see your name right there, but your comments were made with a caveat that all that you had done up until this point to make this selection you felt had been transparent. And then I want to know the name of the person, or you keep referring to it as an organization. I'd like to know the name of this organization before you, like tonight. So if I want to do some research on this organization, maybe I'll be able to find out some information that might be of interest to you or one of the other members or somebody in the audience or listening to this meeting might want to do some research. It's amazing what information you can find out about a person or an organization on the internet if you spend the time and effort to do it. So I don't feel that you've been as transparent as you think you might, because you haven't shared the name of this organization, quote unquote, with us, the public. And it sounds to me like you're going to go ahead and hire this organization without sharing that information with the public, which I don't appreciate. And I don't think it's transparent. And I'm offended by. Thank you.
So I'm going to read the actual agenda item. I hear you. Thank you. So the action item is adopt a resolution of the Police Oversight Accountability Commission recommending that the city manager consider entering into a professional services agreement with effective law enforcement for all independent police auditor services. Along with that, the entity name, let me make that clear, is Effective Law Enforcement for All Independent Police Auditor Services. And if you look at the agenda, you will actually see that we have posted their proposal with their qualifications. I'm not sure if you have access to that agenda, but we are being as transparent as possible by providing you with that proposal. So there is no one on this committee that is hiding anything. We are stewards of this community, and we are trying to make it as transparent as possible for you. I don't know if my fellow commissioners have anything else to comment on, but I'd like to make it very clear that it's a part of the agenda and that the information is posted in the agenda along with all of the information that we were given to make this recommendation.
And what may be confusing is the acronym for the organization is called ELIFA. So we have thoroughly vetted this. We have researched it. We have read it. So yes, we already got a spanking before from the community. We don't want any more. So yes, we have thoroughly read this proposal from ELIFA.
And through the chair, I'm not on the subcommittee, but the first thing I did when I saw the agenda was do some Googling, as the commenter mentioned, and was very impressed by ELIFA, their qualifications, and also want to reiterate my faith in the subcommittee's work here. So if you do have the chance to check out the agenda, it's a really impressive proposal that they came across. Thank you.
I will also point out, Chair and Commission, that the agenda was posted at 4:30 p.m. on July 31st, and all city agendas are posted on the city's website. I believe it's also posted on your website, if I remember.
So for this item, we did have a motion by Commissioner Hybels, but I didn't get a second.
I second it.
Second by Chair Lewis. Chair Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Qualls, Commissioner Hybels,
Yes.
Commissioner Roy,
Yes.
Commissioner Yoon.
Yes.
Motion carries by all members present.
Okay, on to information items. Do we have any?
We have
We
no
have none.
items on the information calendar.
Okay. And do we have any future agenda items? So let's go to closed session.
Your battery is good. While it appears that the police department is receiving significantly more complaints due to POAC's existence, an unanswered question is how many of these complaints have been investigated by the Vallejo Police Department. And from what I'm hearing from the few people that I've talked to, it appears that this does not occur very often. So what good is the complaint process? The public needs to know if the police department is taking these complaints seriously. I would hope that the number of investigations and the outcomes become a standard report made by the Vallejo Police Department representative at these meetings. I also think it would be helpful for the public to list in general categories the types of complaints that are received. Just reporting a case number is not sufficient. For example, are most complaints against officers being rude or disrespectful, or is it something else? Right now, the public has no way of even guessing. Please consider providing this information going forward.
Would you like for me to announce the item?
We do have one more speaker
Oh,
for
sorry.
closed session.
Sorry.
Carol Heap, please unmute yourself. You have the floor.
Thank you again for the opportunity to speak. I know I call a lot, and it's just that I have a lot, I think, to share with the work you're doing because of my past work, which I won't get into, but you can Google me. There were a couple highly publicized incidents the past couple weeks, and I would like for you to, I know you can't talk about them tonight because they didn't get on the agenda, but I would like you, because of the nature of what you do, your responsibilities, and your responsibilities to the community. The community needs, if you watch the city council meeting Tuesday night, the city of Vallejo need you to speak to them. About these two incidents, and just update them. You know what you know about them, that you're aware of them. If you're not, you need to get aware because they're involved police department. You know, we were on national television again. Vallejo officer involved shooting again. Fails to stop at a fatal car accident during a police pursuit through a residential neighborhood. You know, this is bad optics for the city. Everybody's, people are aware of it. We need to hear from you about what actions you are or aren't taking. If a complaint has been filed yet, what you know about it, what your responsibility is, how that's being played out as it involves these incidents from the past couple weeks. So if you could please put those on the agenda for, current events or something on the agenda for the next meeting. I would love to hear from you guys about what it is now that we actually have a, a fatal incident, when we have some big high profile police problem cases. Please talk to us about how you're fitting into that box, because we need to know that you're you're doing something, that your commission is an action rooted commission, is proactive and not just reactive. So thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I can answer that. We don't know anything that hasn't been publicly announced. We don't have any inside information on any of the incidents. And when the investigations are completed, we will review them.
Shall I go ahead, Chair? Okay. The commission will meet in closed session this evening concerning public employee discipline, dismissal, release pursuant to Government Code Section 54957B1, discussion and consideration of complaints and reports. To discuss complaints, charges, investigations, and discipline involving Vallejo Police Department employees and information deemed confidential under California Penal Code Sections 832.5 through 832.8 and Evidence Code Section 1040. You're going to review complaints CC 26-61 and CC 26-62, and you're going to consider investigative reports for recommendation for complaints CC 25-04, 26-01, 26-03, 26-06, 26-09, 26-12, and 26-14.
We're back to report out of our closed session.
Thank you, Chair, members of the Commission. Commission did meet in closed session concerning public employee discipline, dismissal, release pursuant to Government Code Section 54957B1, discussion and consideration of complaints and reports. To discuss complaints, charges, investigations, and discipline involving Vallejo Police Department employees and information deemed confidential under California Penal Code Sections 832.5 through 832.8 and Evidence Code Section 1040. You reviewed the following complaints: 26-61 and 26-62. The Commission also reviewed the following investigative reports: 25-04, 26-01, 26-03, 26-06, 26-09, 26-12, and 26-14. The Commission gave staff direction and no further action was taken.
And we are adjourned.